Hello friends and families, once again welcome to our continuation of how to create a desktop calculator. Now this is what we did in our previous lesson, and at the end of the day we went ahead to achieve this, and we could see our calculator is quite okay and is cool to go. Now there's something I'd like to talk about. Someone asked me a question that, for instance, when I have 9 plus 9, okay, and I go ahead and press equal to, you can see give me 18. Now the person asked me, what about if I type 9999999 and I press more or less the delete? Okay, that is what someone commented in the comment section in our previous lesson. Don't worry, I'll be leaving the link in the description and also here on the icon here. You can just click on it and then take a recap of how we're able to put this together and join us here. So the person went ahead, was asking me that when we press 9999 and we don't want to, when we press the delete key, we don't want the entire kind of like digit to be deleted. Okay, so like first when I click on delete, see the entire is deleted. So according to him, you want it in such a way that when we press 9999999 and we press the delete key, you should delete only this first 9. And I told him that yes, it's possible, and I'm going to take you guys through how to do that. And without wasting much time, let's fix that, and for you to see that you can do that, do some slight changes, and then you are good to go. And then the calculator, when you put the delete is going to delete only one digit. Without wasting my time, let's get started. Okay, welcome back. So as we are back now, the next thing I'd like us to do is that let's move straight to our text editor. So far as our Sublime text is concerned, so as you can see now, I am in my Sublime text. So as I'm in my Sublime text now this is where the problem is here. Okay, so this very side. Now when we press the delete, we said, remember that in the display here, okay, in the display here, we then give the input as what display, and then we give the form as calc, and we also give the div as cost. So for us to echo this, what we need to do is that you see that in the bracket we brought just a 2 quote here, being 1 quote where we make it blank, in as much that when one click on the delete key, because it is blank, it's going to echo delete. So in here we are going to go ahead and call this same value, which is that delete display values. Okay, so we're going to copy that, and after copying this delete display value, we'll put it in here, which we will maintain the equal to sign. Okay, then we'll go ahead and then bring a particular element called dots, which is going to be spelled SLICE, and I'll put that there. Then I'll open bracket, then I'll say 0, space -1, and I'll close the bracket. Now when I bring this code, the meaning of this simply means that when I go ahead and press the delete key, the delete key should should take off the first value that I have inserted. Okay, so when I go ahead and click on file and click on save and then switch to my browser, which you can see I am in my browser already, when I refresh and go ahead and press 9999999 and maybe 8 and go ahead and press my delete key, you can see the 8 is off, the 9 is off, one after the other. So for instance, when you go like 7 plus and you realize that no, the plus you want to minus, not the plus, you go ahead and press the delete key and then the plus goes off. So as a matter of fact, the changes that you must do, which I'm going to display on the screen, is that you have to then go ahead in the on clicked, okay, on click, you make sure that you take off, previously it was 1 quote, you take off the quote and bring this very quote there, and then when you bring this quote there, At the end of the day, when you press the delete key, the delete is going to delete one after the other. Now you are okay with that. Let's go ahead and download our Inno and also our PHP desktop and do the configuration, and then we'll come back and then see how we can put our desktop into life so far as our calculator is concerned. So let's move on. So moving on, as I am in my browser, I'll go ahead and then click on a new tab here. As I'm in Google, I want to download something we call Inno Setup. And then first, before I download my Inno Setup, let us go ahead and download our PHP Desktop Chrome. To do that, PHP Desktop Desktop Chrome. Okay, that is it. Desktop Chrome. Nicely, as you can see here. And I'll click on it to be downloaded. So this is it here. So here I'm going to download my PHP Desktop Chrome from GitHub. So you can just do that and you are good to go. So, but don't worry, you can choose to click on the first link here and then click on the first one here. So after I've clicked on the first one, don't worry, I'll just scroll down here and I can get any of the one that I want. But I want the one for Windows. So this is PHP Desktop versions 55.0 for Windows. Click on it. So after I click on it, I'll go ahead. You can see it here. So this is what I want. So I'll just go ahead and click on the zip file to download my zip. So you can see it here. It is downloading here. So let's wait for it to finish downloading. Then after that, I'll copy that and put it on my desktop. It has finished downloading, so I'll go ahead and paste that on my desktop. So that is just that. So this is it here. Now, as it is on my desktop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and then extract that. So I right click on it and then I'll click on extract file and click on OK. So now it has finished extracting. So this is the file here and I'll bring it down here. So this is it. I'll double click on it. And in it, we have another PHP Desktop Chrome. Double click on it, and this is it. So now, after taking that from the way, the next I'm going to do is that I just want my PHP. I don't want it to be in a subfolder folder. So what I'll do is that I'll double click on this PHP Desktop Chrome. Double click on it. Select where we have the local and so on. Just highlight on everything here, and hold on to Ctrl+X to cut, and go back and paste them here. Done. So it is pasted. Now come and select the white portion, this very side here. So click on it and press delete to delete that very folder. So my PHP Desktop Chrome more or less has been extracted. Now after that has been extracted, the next thing I'd like you to do is that look through your file and then come to where we have PHP Desktop Chrome, which is this very icon here. Go ahead and double click on it. Now when you double click on it, you can see that the PHP will then launch. So this is it here. Okay, so this is what is here. Now, what is the confusion? This become a console, okay, which is the DOS, kind of like a DOS window, and it's a console, and this is the PHP app. Now we are going to go ahead and do the setting one after the other. Now let's go ahead and stop this console. We don't want this console to display, which is the DOS screen. So to do that, I'll go ahead and close my PHP window. So after closing my PHP window, what I'll do is that I'll look through the files here and then look for something we call setting.json. Okay, so when you look through here, you can see that you'll be looking for a particular file called setting.json, which is this one here. Okay, so setting.json. So what we do is I just right click on that and open it with any of your text editor. So I'll click on open with, and I'll open it with my Sublime Text. So let me click on choose, go more. I have a couple of text editors because I started with Sublime Text with you, so I prefer to select Sublime Text. So I'll select Sublime Text and click on OK. So this is it here. Now in my setting.json, you can see that this has displayed. Now you can see, let me bring it here. Now this is our calculator so far as the index file is concerned, and this is our CSS. So I'll go ahead, settings.json. I'll look for something we'll call console. So let's look for that. So let's look for that. Don't mind me. Let's look for that. So here you can see where we have show console. Do you see that? Show console, and here we have what? True. So I'll just highlight on the true and make it what? False. So I'll just type my false and save that. So this very line, which is line 7, you can see where we have show console. I want it to be false. I don't want it to be true. So the moment I launch my PHP desktop by clicking on the icon, the console, which is the door screen, is not going to show. Let's look at that. I come to my file here, and then where I have, which is my folder, where I have my PHP Desktop Chrome, by double clicking on it, you see the console doors is not displaying. So that means that when you go to settings.json, which is in my text editor, and I turn this to what? True. Text example, true, and I save that, and I come back to, let me close my window, and come back to my folder and launch my PHP Desktop Chrome again. You can see that the console is displaying, but I don't like it. So let's go and turn the console off. So go back to my text editor, which is my settings.json, come to line 7, which is show console, backspace what is there, and go ahead and turn it to what? False. False. And save that. You can choose to click on file and click on save. So after doing that, go back to your folder and double click, and the console is off. Now, how cool is that? Well, I can choose to click on what we have, maximize, and my window will be maximized. Now I can also choose to click on what we have, restore down, and my window is restored down. Now you can also choose to click on what we have, the maximize, to turn the maximize button off, so that when you launch your application, it will be broadened, where the maximize button here will be off. Let's look at how to turn that off. I'll close that, go back to my PHP, my settings.json, which is settings.json, and scroll down here where I have the main window. And then when you come to where we have main window, you can see where we have maximize button, and it is false. So you can choose to turn it to true, which means the maximize button is it's not going to display. When I click on it, it's not going to be displayed. Let's look at that. So when I backspace here, and as the maximize button is false, I'll turn it to true, and save that. So the moment I save that and go back to my folder and double click on it, you can see the maximize button, although it should, but when I double click, nothing is happening. Okay, so it will never happen. It will not maximize. So that is how you can double click here, anything to not maximize. So that is how to turn off the maximize button. Now, in a settings.json, which is my text editor, you can do whatever you wanted to do here, and everything will be nice and slow. Now, when I want to, we have a start full screen. Now you can turn the full screen to true. For instance, when I go by saying full screen, and I say true, and I go ahead and close my PHP Desktop Chrome, and I go to my folder and double click on how they call it, my PHP Desktop Chrome's icon, you can see it will give me a full screen mode. Okay, so that's how you can play around it, and you'll be good to go. Now, taking that from the way, I'll go directly to my desktop and my text editor. That's a desktop, is a graphical error. It's my text editor, and then turn the start full screen to false. And also turn my maximize button also to false, because I want the maximize button to be, I know it's an application I'm building, so I want the maximize button to be shown. So when users launch install the application, they can able to maximize the window. Okay, so to turn it off, just highlight on the true and then turn it off to false. Done. Save that. So now when I go back to my folder and double click on my PHP desktop, Now you can see my maximize button is working. How cool is that? When I click on the restore down, and it will go back. Okay, now I'll close it. Taking that from the way, now the next thing I'd like us to look at is this. When I double click on my PHP for it, you can see that in the PHP Desktop Chrome, there is some content here. But before we look at the content, because I'm building a calculator, I'd like us to change the title of the calculator. We are changing it from the PHP Desktop Chrome to what? To calculator, let's say Armstrong calculator, because that is how I named the app. So how do we do that? To do that, go ahead and close your window. Go to the text editor where we have setting.json. Remember, when I go to my index file here, I give a name to my calculator as Armstrong calculator, as you can see there. So when I come to setting.json and I come to down here where we have title, let's go down. So let's go to main. You see here we have main window, and we have title, and the title is PHP Desktop Chrome. So I'm going to highlight on that, and I'll paste what I copied from my index known as Armstrong calculator. When I click on file and click on save, and then I go to my folder and launch my PHP Desktop Chrome, you see the title will change. Let's look at that. So in my folder, and I'll double click on my PHP Desktop Chrome, you can see that so the title has changed here. You can see it here, it has changed nicely. You can see that it has changed here as Armstrong calculator. I click on maximize, and you can see that it has changed here, Armstrong calculator. Now you've done this, and that is showing. The next one I'd like us to look at is the contents in the window. Now, where is the content from this window? Where is it coming from? So let's look at that. I'll close this. The moment I close it, now as we've extracted the file in the www folder, whatever you are seeing in the PHP Desktop Chrome here, okay, such that is in the www folder here. So I'll go ahead and close that, and then go to my www folder by double clicking on it. You can see I have some couple of content. Don't worry, I'll highlight on the entire content and press delete, and it is gone. Now when I go back and then launch my PHP Desktop Chrome, you can see content is empty, there's nothing in it. Okay, so let's look at something. We are going to close this and then go ahead and then open our text editor. In our text editor, click on file and click on new. So after I click on file and click on new, I'm going to save a file in the www folder that, so far the PHP Desktop folder is concerned, and I'm going to save that as index file in the www folder. Okay, to do that, click on file and go ahead and click on save as. So after I click on save as, come to where we have the www, okay, double click on it to be open and save it as index. I'm going to be index, so index HTML. Now when you're dealing with PHP, you have to go back now in the www folder, make sure that you save the file as index, and then that PHP Desktop Chrome is going to recognize that. Okay, so all the time you make sure you make it index, okay, .html. Now after I've typed the name of the file, go ahead and click on save. So I'm going to create a dummy contents in this particular text editor. So I'm going to go by making my doc declaration HTML, and I'm going to call this as, let's say, cost, as I'm going to call it. So cost T, anyhow, done. So in between the body, I'm going to say header 1. Header 1. So in the header 1, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's say Armstrong, okay, let's say the boy is going to school. So after typing the boy is going to school, let me enhance it a little bit by saying style, and let me increase the font size a little bit. So font size, and let me make the font size 70 pixels. See that? And again, let me go ahead and do some color. And the color, I want to make it red. Nice, save that. So the moment I do that and I go to my browser, click on File, click on Save. So that is that. Now remember, I saved this in my PHP folder. In the PHP folder, there's a folder known as www that I saved that. So when I go to my browser and I double click on the PHP Desktop Chrome, you can see it will launch this nicely. You see there, that is what is there. Now let me center this. Now to center this, I'll just go back to my text editor, and in here, then I'll say align, then I'll say what, center. Save that, and when I come to my folder and open the php.chrome and maximize, you can see it's at the center. So basically that is that. So that is just that. This is telling that the file that you want to use for the desktop app, make sure that the index file is in the what, in the www folder. Take it out from the way. Let's close this and let's go to the www folder and delete the index file that we created. Done. So after deleting the index file, let's go to the desktop, Armstrong calculator, and double click on it, and I'll highlight on this text. Okay, from my index file and my style sheet, I'll copy that. So after copying that, I'll close my folder and come to where we have the PHP desktop, okay, folder. Double click on it. So in the PHP desktop folder, I'll look for this particular folder known as the www, and double click on that www folder to be open. So after double clicking on the www folder, I'll go ahead and paste that here. Right click and click on paste. So after I've pasted that, I'll go back and come and launch my PHP Desktop Chrome. You can see this is my calculator. So when I press 9999999 and I press my delete, it erases only the 9. So basically that is just that. Now as we have now bring our calculator into our PHP Desktop Chrome, let's go ahead and then download what, our Inno setup. So back to my Chrome browser. So in my Google, I'll go ahead and then look for what, Inno. So Inno setup. Okay, press enter and you see it here. So this is Inno setup. So I'll go ahead and click on what, Inno setup. Don't worry, I'll be leaving the link in the description where you can go and download all these resources. So after that, I'll scroll down here, and remember I'm downloading, so the moment I come here, I have to come to what, download Inno setup. So I'll click on it. So when I click on download Inno setup, don't be alarmed. What you need to do is that scroll down. So when you scroll down here, you can see this is my Inno setup. So this is what I like to download. Okay, so just come to where we have download site, and we have a US. Okay, so select this very one here and click on it. So the moment you click on it, the download will start. As you can see here, the download has begun. As it has downloaded, you can just go to your download folder and then what, copy the Inno or extract it. But I want everything to be on the desktop so you see everything step by step. So I'll minimize my window and come and paste the download because it has been downloaded onto my download folder. So I went there to just go ahead to download what, to copy to cut the Inno setup and bring it on the desktop for you to see. So this is how it is. So as the Inno setup has been brought, let's go ahead to install the Inno setup on our machine. So on my desktop, I'll right click on it and click on run as admin. So you can see I have English. I'll click ahead and maintain the English and click on OK. So here, so Inno is kind of like a setup wizard, or more or less open source, that allows us to create a desktop application. If you want to support them, you can click on PayPal and then support. It's free. You can support them so that they'll keep on kind of like giving us updates and to support them for their good work. So you can equally click on PayPal and then support them with some money that you have. But for that, you're going to use it for free, so you don't buy. It's free, open source, but just to support them with some money, you can equally come here. But hey, let's go ahead and click on accept. So I've accept the terms and conditions. Click on next, and I'll click on install, and go ahead and click on install, and go ahead and click on install. It's asking whether you want to download and install the words. No, I don't want to do any support file. Okay, probably you may be using it offline. Okay, so just go ahead and click on instead. And do I want it to create a shortcut? Yes, I always want to have a shortcut icon on my desktop, so I'll do that. Click on next and click on install. So this is so fast, and you can see it is done what installing. So I don't want to launch it, but you can go ahead and click on launch, and you can see this is how the interface is. Now you enjoy. Now you've done what I asked you to do for us to get here to finalize our calculator with the help of Inno. Catch you in the next lesson. We are going to focus on how to finalize the calculator interface, okay, using the Inno setup to build a complete desktop. Okay, basically that is just that. After that, we're going to go ahead and try to install it on a computer, another computer, to see how effective it is. So catch you in the next lesson. Thank you for watching. Bye.